Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome all of you from all the parts of the country. I'd like to welcome all our clients. I'd like to welcome all our students, all our alumni who are part of this program today. Thank you so much for attending. Well, this time around, I think you are definitely, those who have been attending the webinar, you are expecting to see Mr. Cool himself, Lesala, who's always the presenter or the MC for the program. But today we are doing things a little bit differently. And the reason for that, it's for, I'll tell you right now, it's for actually for a good succession plan. I am showing you as businesses. A lot of you guys, you start a business and you do everything in the business, year 1, even year 10, you're still the one in control. That is not a business. It's just self-employment. You started that business to employ yourself. So if you'd like to have a business, I always say, consists of two things, is people and systems. You need to build the systems into the business and also the people. All right. So if you can have the people running, build the systems so that they can run the people and the people can run the systems, then you've got a business. And this is where you can have freedom to actually do nothing or to go and do other things or to create multiple businesses. That's exactly what gives you freedom. So I am one of those people as well. You know, when people ask me, how do you do it as a serial entrepreneur with many businesses? This is how I do it. You know, you train the people, you trust the people, and you put people in charge and let them do things. and put the systems in charge as well. Once you can do that, then you have a business. And that's how also we'll build the economy, because we need to have people in order to, to build the economy. You need to have the systems, you need to have your business running. It needs to consist of people, and that's how you create employment. And may I just make a disclaimer to say, forgive me as I'm coming from you from my comfortable home. If you see my dogs in my background or my kids screaming, I'm sure you guys are experiencing the same thing. With that being said, I trust that everyone is in their comfort of their own homes and you are safe. May I say that should it happen that you are one of the people who've probably affected directly by the current status of the country, things that are happening, you've got our support. And I'd just like to say that, you know what, I think, as we know, we live in a democratic country where people have got rights to do what they would like to do. And if other people do things that hurt others, again, I mean, what can we say? It's one of those situations. But with that being said, I just want to say I wish you all well. I hope you are all safe. I hope you can safeguard your businesses. I hope you can come out of this stronger and our country can move forward, because this affects the economy of your country. So, are you guys ready for this morning? Let me first also thank you for taking time out. Yes, okay. Thank you. Let me also congratulate you for taking time out. Instead of sitting, focusing on the clutter, watching the news, sharing all this content that is sometimes you'd say useless or it's a time wasting, you've taken your time to actually come in here and empower yourself and learn something that is very important. Now, let's get to it. Today's webinar is about sales. Now, you cannot be an entrepreneur or business person and go into business and you cannot sell. Business is sales. We all selling. I always say that the best sellers are Mapanzula. Mapanzula. These guys who always have, one guy has got 10 women, all beautiful, classy women. They are all around surrounding him. And a lot of them, even if you advise them, hey, but don't you see that guy is a player? No, they wouldn't leave him. Why? He's a good salesman. Okay. He's a good salesman, that person. So good salespeople are like, that's why we call them players. So you need to be a player in business, but we're not talking about manipulation here. We're just talking about being good at what you do. What do we mean by sales? It means whatever you're offering that you have, you need to take it out there. You need to find somebody to sell it to. You need to know how to do it, where to do it, and more importantly, why you are doing it. So if you do not understand all this, whether you have a business, whether you have a product or service, you will likely struggle to make ends meet. People who are doing it well in business, who are good and who are thriving in business, know exactly how to sell. So you have made the right decision to take time out to come and sit here and listen, to be part of this morning webinar so that you can learn. So I hope you all have your notebooks. You are going to make notes and you can implement what is being said today. And just remember, please participate, ask as many questions as you can. Put on your chat box, there's Q&A later on that is coming up. Please ask any question that you can, because the person that we have for you today, which I will not introduce, my host today, I'm normally the host, but I've got a host that I will introduce to you now. And my host today will make sure that all your questions, many of your questions, are addressed. The speaker we have today is a high caliber speaker. This is the master coach who coaches other coaches and who coaches, this is a growth expert. So literally you get a business that is doing 8-9 figures and saying, you know what, we need you as a coach to help us grow further so that we can make your 10 figures, we can create more jobs. This is the kind of person that I'm bringing to you, as you will see. So you are very blessed. Here in EBL Institute, we only bring you the best. We work with the best. That's why we are the best. So with that being said, I just want to say, just remember to participate, number one. Number two, to make it worth your while, today we are giving out a nice prize to actually help you, as it comes up on the screen. So yes, Zig Ziglar, that's the book, Selling 101. So the lucky person today who participates the best or the most will walk away with that book. Please go read it. After reading it, make your notes, share with others, empower others. That's why we are here. We empower you, so you empower other people. So with that being said, please participate. That is your prize to make it worth your while today. Not just that, we are giving you cash, 1,000 Rand cash as well, to make sure that, it goes a long way. Even billionaires, millionaires, they know the value of a rand. So that's a lot of money, actually. So yeah, and not just that, we know some of you need to work, and data is still an issue in South Africa. It's very expensive. So we will also give you the data. So are you guys ready? Now sit back and take off your feet. I mean, you're in your house now. I'm sure you're wearing your pajamas and everything, but sit back, have your coffee, have your water, and make sure that your aircon, if you have aircon, it's at 16 degrees Celsius. That's the temperature at which the brain, takes the learning and stuff. So if you are ready, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce the host today, who will further host our guest speaker today, our presenter. This is the man I'm calling, this is my succession plan. I want to show you how it works. This is the man who is my succession plan. This is the man that, like I'm saying, I'm grooming, to either take over, to start his own, whichever way it goes. But we're in business to groom other people. This is the man that I am able to take 3 months leave from EBL Institute, because this man is there. So once you've trained them well, and you have the guys with good character, with good attitude, put them in the forefront, teach them to do the job. When they can do it, don't step on their toes. Let them do it and help them grow. This is how we actually build businesses. So I'm very proud, guys, to bring you somebody who is doing extremely well. Very young, very talented. Ladies and gentlemen, your host for today, who will be hosting our speaker, is none other than, I call him Mr. Cool, the Salakheteng. Mr. Cool, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Coach, for those kind words. And thank you so much also for the time that you spend with us and the quality of the clients that we're getting, or coaches and professionals and experts that we get to bring our clients. And for those of you who are joining us today, you're in for a treat. I think the coach has said it, you are in for a treat. So to introduce you to the speaker that we have today, feast your eyes, feast your ears, and stay with me, because she's done a lot. She's experienced, she knows sales. And that's why the title today is titled Master the Art of Selling. You need to master it, because if you don't master the art of selling, you can't make profit in your business. So she has over 10,000 hours. She spent over 10,000 hours coaching business coaches, and her clients say that it shows in the quality of her coaching during the sessions that she gives to them. And she has actually over 120 clients that she's coached in most industries that most of you are even in, including the ICT industry. And they say that she knows her stuff. And businesses from startups to well-established multi-million rand businesses have benefited from her coaching. In the past decade, business growth expert Marlene Powell has achieved results for business owners from various industries, just like you in the ICT sector and other sectors, for those of you who are joining us today, and giving them a real competitive edge in spite of tough economic times. She has clients even now during COVID-19. As many businesses are closing down, Marlene's clients are actually expanding. Their businesses are getting better. Marlene is an internationally certified business coach through the #1 ranked business coaching firm, which you know very well, ActionCOACH. For almost a decade, she's been in the action coaching business. She's served as a business coach. And when her clients come on board, they stay because they see the value that they're getting in achieving the results. And as for results, Marlene says her personal motto is, "Your success is my business." How do you feel about that? If your coach says, "Your success is my business," she wants results. And as you as well as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you want results in your business. And Marlene's clients have more than tripled their bottom line in a recessionary economy. They've also won entrepreneurial awards, developed 6 exit strategies for their businesses, taken time with their families, and found the financial freedom to pursue what really matters in each and every entrepreneur's life. Her clients have described her as she's able to get to the bottom line of what is required, and is very focused on ensuring that she obtains results and a business receives success in its own right. She has worked with international corporate companies in her career over the past 3 decades, and she's turned around divisions from losses to profits, streamlining processes, empowering teams, and making decisions at board level as operations and quality risk and compliance. With Marlene's vast corporate experience together with ActionCOACH's international tried and tested systems and methodology, I say it again, you're in good hands today. So make sure that you feast your eyes, get those notebooks ready, and also remember, communicate with us. If you have questions, put them in the Q&A section under your Zoom chat box or Zoom control panel. And if you have those blinding flashes of the obvious things that you're saying, this is important, I need to remember this, or I need to note this down, share them with us. Let's walk with us and let's enjoy this experience together. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to your speaker, the one that I've just mentioned now, Action Coach Marlene Powell. Welcome, Marlene.
Wow, thank you so much, Asala, and thank you, Thabo, for the opportunity. Yes, I am going to take good care of you today, and really at the end of the day, it's just what you put in is what you'll get out. So please sit back. I'm not going to say relax. Make sure you've got a pen and a piece of paper, because you've got to take what you take in. You want to process it, write it, and put it down on a piece of paper. And before I even start the presentation, Lasala, I just want you to put down, what is the one thing you're wanting to get out of today's sales session? What is that one thing? And then in the chat box, I'd like you to put it there. What are you looking for? I did notice earlier someone put they're looking for new strategies. So please, I'd love to see what it is before we get started. Because as Tawa was talking about, we're talking about leveraging through teams, succession planning. And it's as well with what we're going through today, currently at the moment, is making sure that we stay in control of our businesses, making sure that we continue to generate income, no matter what we're faced with. All right, so secret behind selling. All right, so there's no silver bullets, it's action. All right, so we're going to get there in more detail. So I'm going to start my screen, but please, guys, if you can just continue to put in the chat box, what are you specifically looking for from today's session? Just so I make sure that I address it during the course of my presentation. How to sell more and retain clients, building a retainer strategy. Excellent. So we're on the right track and we're in the right place. Double your numbers. Let's go for triple or 30x. We don't want to double, we want to triple and quadruple. If you've got a coach like Thabo, you're more than going to 10 times what you're generating. Double is too small thinking. All right, excellent. Let's just move this up. Okay, so moving forward. Right, so the first thing here is the points of power. Now, there's two ways you can look at the way you conduct yourself and the way you conduct your business. Do you want to be powerless? And that means that it's blame, excuse, and denial. Let's find every reason, excuse possible why we can't make our business a success, why we can't make ourselves a success. Or do you want it to be powerful and take ownership, accountability, and responsibility? And you'll see the acronym is OAR. You're in your boat, which is your vehicle, which is your business. You're in the business of making profit. You've got the oar. As the business owner, you are the driver of your ship, your vehicle, your business, your life. So you will paddle it in the direction you want to go. How do you become a great sailor? Through rough storms. If it's a smooth sailing, how do you grow? How do you expand? How do you evolve? How do you transform? So in the chat box, I'd like you to write there, please, OAR, if you want to take your oar, your paddle and be powerful, or BED, you want to stay in bed and not want to face the rest of your future that you're in control with. So plug in there, OAR or BED. If it's BED, then you can put your videos off and go and sit somewhere else and come back at the end and say, thanks very much. So excellent. And this is the very first thing you want to do with yourself and with your teams, is take ownership. All right. You own your ship. But we also want to know, where do you want to take your ship? And what you'll find when you look at your clients, when you look at your suppliers, when you look at the people you surround yourself with, are they the right people that are going to help you be successful? Are you surrounding yourself with the right people that are going to bring the best you out, help you perform to your absolute optimum? When you're in a sales process, for example, are you being dictated to on what you need to do, or are you able to influence the buying habits of your prospects and your clients? So what we want to do today is make sure that you're in control of what you're in control of, and that's what we can only focus on. I always say it's got nothing to do with you, what other people think or do or say. We have no control over that. But how you respond to that is what will make the difference. If there's negativity out there or a lot of noise going on, do you want to be part of that noise and fuel it? Or do you want to take a step back and put your blinkers on and face forward and say, this is the way I want to go? Right, so I see most of you are putting there as or, which is a good start. The other thing is participation. So in the chat box, I'd like to know at the moment, how many people currently are you engaging with on a sales process? So how many prospects, how many leads, how many quotes, how many people currently are you engaging with? What are those numbers? Let's have a look. 4, 10, 4, 30, 5, 25, 3. Now, I'm sure you know that sales is a numbers game. Yes, some of you might have 23 and you may only close 2. Some of you might have 6 and close 5. Why do some people have a higher conversion rate from a prospect to a client, or from a prospect to through the sales process, and your conversions are higher and others are lower? It's about participation. It's also where are you participating? Are you participating in the right channels? If you're marketing, are you marketing and participating in the right platforms? Are you talking to your right target market? Are you offering your right product or service? What are you doing? Estelle, if your conversion rate is 80 to 100%, I actually would love you to be presenting today. The average is actually about 22% for businesses that are doing sales, and there's various reasons why. Estelle, 80 to 100% is phenomenal. That means that for every 10 people you speak to, you're closing 8. That's absolutely phenomenal. And then we need to know, what is it specifically that Estelle is doing that lends itself to be able to get an 80% conversion rate to 100% conversion rate? All right, so it is about participation. So what you put in is what you get out. And we want to start understanding your participation levels in each of your areas of business, and how much of it do you actually participate in a sales process. Now, there's also a very distinct difference between marketing and sales, and I'll touch on it a bit in the next couple of slides. So again, in the chat box, what is your participation level for today? Are you going to give your 100%? That means you are absolutely present for now. That how many of you have got your phones off or silent away from you? Or are you currently looking at your cell phones right now, or busy doing emails, or doing a quick catch-up session on something and listening with half an ear? So what would be nice in the chat box, are you 100% present right now and participating in this session today? Please put it in the chat box. All right. Again, we can give you a fish and feed you for a day, or we can teach you to fish and feed you for a lifetime. So we can tell you how to do sales, but what we love about coaching, and that's the difference between coaching and consulting. Consulting will tell you this is what you need to do, how you need to do it, when you need to do it, where you need to do it. Then when the consultants walk away, you haven't learned the process or understand it. As a coach, we want you to transform. We want you to transition. We want you to unlearn old habits and relearn new habits. We want to teach you how to use the tools that you are given, and that we don't just give you the tools, but how to use the tools, and to make sure you're using the right tools in the right areas of your business. All right, and that's why, again, when we look at our conversion rates and sales, why they're low, is it doesn't necessarily say they don't work. They might just not work for what you offer and who you're talking to. And again, it goes right back to the beginning, is who is your target market? Right, so we want to teach you how to do sales so that you can apply it in your own business. Don't worry about what worked for somebody else, because that somebody else has not got the exact same business as you. If you look at Tabo and I, we're both an action coach. We both do business coaching. His strategies in marketing and sales is very different to my strategies in marketing and sales. Why? We are two very different individuals. We have very different target markets. We have very different approaches. Tabo's very out there. I hope you don't mind me referencing you there. He's very social. I'm not a social being. I don't like to be in crowds of people. I won't go around and say hello to everybody. I won't want to go on stage unless I have to. I like to be coaching. That's where I like to be, the best kept secret. Other people like to be out there. So we've got to find strategies that are going to work for your personality and for your business, because we want you to be as authentic as you can be. Authenticity is so important. You want to live your brand. You want to live your product and service. You want to show your love for what you do. How many of you actually love what you do? How many have lost that love and passion for what you do? Because if you're trying to market yourself and put yourself out there, do your people, your prospects, whoever you're talking to, can they feel that? If you're anxious and stressed, they're going to feel it. If you're desperate to sell, you're going to feel it. So how do we make it all aligned for you so that your message out there is holistic, and that anybody you communicate with and you're involved with and you work with are on the same page as you? They understand your value. They want to know you. They want to like you. They want to trust you. How do we get them to do that? Because that's what sales is all about. So some of you will be very familiar with our 6-step sales process. I just want to show you how it all fits. So it's very important. The mastery level is your foundation. So if you're looking at doing sales, now it'd be interesting to see in the chat box is, who is your target market? Is it corporates? Is it SMMEs? Is it business to consumer? What type of target market are you focusing on? It'd be interesting to see that in the chat box, because depending on who your target market is also depends on how you build your business and structure your business. You want to have a business model that provides you with passive income. We want your business to get to a point at the top here where your business can run with or without you. And that's what Tabo was talking to earlier, leveraging through your team, putting systems in place. But to put systems in place and a team in place, we've got to understand, what does your business model look like? For us, we've got group coaching, we've got one-on-one coaching. We've also got ad hoc workshops. So what is the percentage split? Some business coaches want 70% group coaching and 30% one-on-one coaching. Others want to just do ad hoc 100%. Depends on your risk factor, and it depends on how much time you have, and it depends where your love is. I love both group coaching and one-on-one. Group coaching, I can leverage more through time. I can help a lot more businesses in group coaching than I can do one-on-one, because there's only so many hours and I can only do 7 one-on-one clients, whereas in group, I can do 60 group clients in 2 hours. So what does your business model look like? Because that also will determine who you're going to sell to. I see someone's raised their hand. Please, there is going to be an opportunity for you to ask questions later with Lasala. So we're going to look at this niche section, the second one, and that's predictable cash flow. So again, in the chat box is, how happy are you? Satisfied are you? So 1 out of 5. 5 means I'm absolutely satisfied with the amount of cash I've got in the bank account. That's a 5. A 1 is, I'm not happy at all with how much money I've got in the chat box, how much money I've got in my business account. All right, so feel free. Remember, I talked about participation. What you put in is what you get out. The more you put in, the more I can see what is coming through the chat box, the more I can reference to that when I am talking. All right. So we're focusing on the niche, and that means how do we make you unique? How do you stand out from the crowd? Firstly, I want to know from you, where are you currently focusing your time? So remember, I talked about participation level. So where are you currently participating in your business? Again, let's use the chat box. Where do you spend most of your time? Do you spend most of your time doing marketing and sales, looking after your existing clients? Or are you spending a lot of time in the back end of the office, in the business, doing paperwork, administration, putting out fires, being Superman, fixing things, instead of getting out there, closing the deals? And how much time is spent on personal development? How many of you in the chat box, and I know I've asked a lot of questions, so please use the chat box, but how many of you have done any upskilling on sales? And you can put M for me, if you want. Or are you just going to separate webinars, different little 30-minute, let's learn about sales, and think that you're going to make a success of your business? So here's the formula. You need to spend 80% of your time marketing, sales, and existing clients, because they are the ones that are going to keep your business running. And the more smarter you are around identifying the right target market to and to do the sales process, the better the caliber and the quality of the clients and customers you've got, and the retention of your clients. And I saw that earlier as well. You want to get a client and you want to keep a client. You want to get customers, you want to keep customers. All right. What is your retention rate of your existing clients and customers? How many of them come back again and again and again? We need to know these questions and answers. So I needed to share this with you because we're going to spend time here now for the purposes of today. So the 5 ways, I'm sure some of you who are already on the program with Tabo has already seen this, but I really want us to drill down, because this is what the difference is between marketing and sales. So we want to make sure that you're in the business of making profit. Often I'll say, what business you're in? Oh, I'm in the plumbing business, electrical business. I'm a lawyer. I'm an accountant. But you're in the business of making profit. Unfortunately, a lot of businesses, a majority of businesses, are making just enough money to make ends meet. That means just enough money to put food on the table and a roof over your head. That's where more than 70% of businesses lie. And that's why a lot of businesses have battled through the pandemic over the last year, because there wasn't enough profit being made to be able to feather your nest and to make sure that you've got reserves for that unforeseen situation we had last year. Now with the looting, everything that's going on again, how much reserves have you got available to yourselves to get you back up and running as quickly as possible? That's why your business is, the purpose of a business is to be profitable. We don't want to, and often when we're working with clients, we don't want to increase your sales until we've increased your profit. We want to go for sanity, not vanity. So when I ask, how much do you want to grow your business by? We don't want to grow turnover by 10%. We want to grow profit by 10, 20, 30, 50%. And of course, it depends on which industry that you're in. So here are the 3 of the 9 hats. So the first 3, marketing, sales, and existing clients. So now, please, guys, this is where you're going to start doing some work. And if you don't know these numbers, this is what you need to get to know to have a very effective sales process in your business, and to make sure that you have a profitable business that is sustainable and it can work whether you are there or not. So number 1 down here, in the chat box, please, what I would really like you to do is I want you to put in, the one product or service that you can offer, and this is, you're going to walk away today with a strategy that I can tell you now. So I want you to put in the chat box, what is the one product or service that you can offer that is the most amount of profit, is the least amount of effort, in the shortest space of time. So I'll repeat that. The product or service that will give you the most amount of profit with the least amount of effort in the shortest space of time. Because what I have found, a lot of businesses are pivoting, side hustling, words I do not enjoy hearing. But what you're doing is because this isn't working, let's try that. Because that's not working, let's try that. So now you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different things you're offering to people. And that's why the sales conversion rates are not that high. You've got to narrow it down. You've got to go for the bull's eye. I always say, don't do the spray and pray in the hope that someone's going to do business with you and you offer so many things. Go for one product service offering, most amount of profit, least amount of effort, shorter space of time. And then say, right, next, your clients. Think of the clients you currently have. How many of your clients are using that product or service? I'm not seeing anything in the chat box. I don't have to. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I should have just turned it down. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Excellent. Okay, so which clients are currently using that product or service? Because we think sometimes that our clients know what we offer. You might sell one thing, but you actually got other offerings that you can cross-sell and upsell to. Here we're looking for new business, new business, new business. That's marketing. We don't want new business yet because we don't know how profitable what we're doing is profitable. So what is the most profitable product or service? Now, which clients of yours are currently using that product or service? And we know, hopefully, that when you pull your numbers, your sales figures, your transactions, you will find that only 20% contribute to 80% of your profit. 80% of your clients only contribute to 20% of your profit. And the problem is that we keep marketing and selling products that are not making us the most amount of profit. And I have more clients than not where we will focus on the 20% of clients because they are the ones that contribute to 80% of our profit. We still take care of the others, absolutely. But we want you to work smart. We want you to focus on being smart in your business. So how many of your clients are doing business with you and how often are they doing business with you? And how much on average are they spending with you? So now if we look at the first section, most profitable product, clients who are using that product or service, and when you pull your report, and hopefully you've got a report from one of your accounting packages, and you can pull that transactional report, you will be able to identify which clients are profitable and which clients aren't. Some of your clients, I bet if you wish you could fire them because they're high maintenance, they take up a lot of your time. Some of those clients that pay you on paper and invoice actually owe you a lot of money on your debtors book. So you find that your debtors outstanding might be your higher end client. So they're not paying you. So why are you still supplying them? Because it's costing you. When we understand that habit and we understand the client's behavior, then you identify your A grade client, your B grade client, your C grade client, and your Ds. D clients we don't want. Send them over to your competitors. You want to move the C's to B's and the B clients to A clients or A customers. Why? Because they will buy more from you more often and they will buy an offering of your products and services. Once you've done that exercise, I can guarantee you that you would have grown your business significantly just by that exercise without even marketing and getting out there. This is what sales is. Work with what's right in front of you, what you already have. They already have a relationship with you. They already know you. They already like you, and they already trust you. They are the same people that are going to refer you to others. Why? Because they are absolutely happy with the service and delivery that you do. Why wouldn't they? Because why are they staying with you? Once that exercise has been done, you've already started growing your book. You've already started making profit. You've already started understanding where to focus 50% of your time. In fact, 30% of your time here, if you've got quite a big, strong book or not so strong, depends on how busy you are. Some businesses that are more well established will have more clients. Others who are not as established, are still quite new, will spend a lot more time looking for new business. The next step, number 4, is the conversion rate. How many of your clients, not clients, prospects, have you done quotes for? Have you done a proposal for that you haven't followed up on? If you have a look at the quotes that you do, how many of those quotes do you actually close? And how many of those quotes that you close are at the lower end of your quote rating and not at the high end? You don't get the high end clients, you get the lower end because it's a price war. And yes, I say that, clients, your clients are loyal, excellent, but there's other clients that are not loyal. They're not loyal because there isn't a relationship. People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. You want to do business with people that you know, like, and trust. That's what it's about. It's a relationship. So it doesn't matter whether your price goes up or whether you decide now to become a VAT registered company, they will still want to do business with you. Why? Because they know, like, and trust you, and you give service beyond expectation. We want to also see, how do we improve the conversion rate? Because you've already engaged with your prospects, you've already done quotes, but there's a sales process. There's questions that you need to ask, and we'll talk about that in the next slide. What are the questions you're asking? Are you asking the right questions? And once you've done these 4, you will be very clear and very confident as to who you're going to market to. This number 5, number of leads, that's the only place where you're marketing, because you've got to target specific to market to your A-grade type clients on how much on average they pay you and on what product or service is the most profitable. Yeah, we want to offer all things to all people, absolutely, but you don't have a high conversion rate and it's costing you time and money. So narrow it down. Less is more. Quality versus quantity. Which would you prefer, quantity or quality? Retain your clients. Get your clients to come back, your customers come back again and again and again. It's not about price. Quality, yes. Where are you spending most of your time? So I wanted to spend a lot of time on this because I really want you to scroll down and take a photo of this page, because you need to know this, because if you've got this formula right, this is guaranteed success. Have a look when you put down quality, have a look at all of your clients. How many of your clients are quality? How many of your clients do you want more of? And how many clients you don't quite want? When you understand that, then you will become very confident in who you're selling to, what you're selling to them, how are you going to sell to them, and why have you chosen that product and that ideal client. When you understand that, that's the basics of sales. A lot of people want to start marketing up front to get people. Absolutely, if you have pretty new business and you don't have clients, again, what is the product or service offering? Who is your ideal client? What do they look like, feel like? Where do you find them? What I'd like you to do right now you don't have to do it in the chat box, but I want you to write it on a piece of paper as part of your home fund. For those who know about home fund, put down 5 names of clients that you want on your books, that you want to do business with, or they do business with you. Put those 5 names down and be bold. Be bold. Because there's somebody else that is doing business with them and vice versa, and not with you. Why should they get that client and not you? And be confident that you can. There's a nice little exercise I want you to do quickly on a piece of paper. I want you to write in big at the top of the piece of paper. Put the name of your company at the top of your piece of paper. So do that quickly on your page. Write the name of your company. Now, underneath the company name, your company name that you've written there with absolute pride, I want you to break down what makes you stand out, what makes you unique, what makes you different. And put that down. Just keywords. Put those words down. And you can take this and explore more when you finish with this workshop. So what are those keywords? And you can type in the chat box. What makes you unique? Someone says quality. Okay, great. Is there no one else that gives quality? Tailor-made, yes. Customer service. Diverse STEM education. So those make you unique. Now, for the purposes of time, I can't give you as much time as I'd like to, but I want you now to cross out your name. I know it's sad, but cross out your company name at the top now. The person says solving problems. Well, I solve problems. Tabo solves problems. Lots of us solve problems. Remember, as business owners, we're problem solvers anyway. That's our job, is to problem solve for our clients, problem solve for our staff, problem solve for ourselves. So now cross out the name of your company and put down your competitor's name down there. Who keeps getting your business? Who's got your clients? Those 5 names I asked you to put down. Who's currently taking care of those 5 clients? And why are you not taking care of them? So write your competitor's name then. I know it'll irritate the hell out of you, but do that. And now go through that list of what makes you unique. And I want you to cross out everything that also relates to your competitor. You know, often someone will put their family business. Well, they're also family business. You have to cross that out. They've got 30 years plus experience. Cross it out. They've got 30 years plus experience. And when you start crossing it out, you will find there's 1 or 2 things that will stand out for you that that competitor doesn't have, that you're aware of. Because a lot of clients I've worked with don't even know who their competitors are, because it's always just based on price. Sales and marketing is not based on price. People don't leave you because of price. We're just not equipped to be able to have the conversation because we think it's about price. We don't lose business on price. We think we do, but we don't. It's because they don't know what makes you unique. They don't know why they should stay with you. So the only option is to say it's price. So now, interestingly, you'll find that there will be a handful of words there. Now, that is what's going to be your uniqueness. Now, that's how you're going to do the marketing. That's how you're going to upsell your C grade to B grade to A grade clients. All right, and then when you start marketing, now you know what makes you unique. You don't have to worry about your competitors. You want your competitors to worry about you. Give them a reason to stay. It's the same with the team. Upskill your team. Upskill your clients. Educate your clients. Educate your team. So they're confident to go somewhere else, but they don't want to leave you. They've got a reason to stay. Because the more you educate your clients, The more they know about you, the more they're going to want to stay with you because they don't know enough about anybody else. And the same with your staff. We can't train our staff too much because then they're going to go to our competitor. Why will they leave if they love working with you? So we've got to change our whole mindset. Remember, we've got to educate the client. The more your client learns, the more you will earn. We need to help our clients understand the importance of why they do business with you. If you don't know why, and I hope you all use your own products and services. There's a lot of people I know that won't even use their own products or services, but they want to sell it. And that's why at the beginning it said mastering the art of, and I crossed our T, not telling, selling. Because we say how great we are, I'm the best thing since sliced cheese, and I do this and I do that. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care, which brings me on to this next slide. The formula for change. So don't worry, a lot of us didn't do maths at school or whatever the case is, but this can even get children to eat vegetables. That's how powerful this is. I love this slide. In the sales process, you need to first find out why they are dissatisfied. Why does your prospect or client need your service? So now what I want you to do is I want you to put a doctor name. Now I know Dr. Thabo has earned the title of doctor. Most of us haven't. But just for today, and I hope, Thabo, you don't mind, but just for the purposes of this exercise, I want you to put doctor before your name. So Dr. Estelle, Dr. Scott, Dr. Wendile. Right, so now you're a doctor. Now think about it. As a patient, when you go to the doctor asks you questions. You don't just sit down, exactly, Chipesa. You don't sit down and the doctor says, right, so what can I prescribe you? And you go and tell them. Remember, we do a lot of self-diagnosis now. So your prospects will do a self-diagnosis. They know what they need. If you're doing social media or IT or, like buying a cell phone, people know so much because they can Google all the information. All their friends and family are telling you, you must only use this, you mustn't use that, you must go to the service provider, and you haven't educated yourself. So a lot of our clients' prospects are becoming a lot more equipped, more knowledgeable on a product or service they want. So they're able to debate and have a discussion with you and maybe argue with you on what they agree and what they don't agree about your product. But I want you to remember that you are the expert in your field. You know more than your client or customer. I'm hoping. You should always know more than your client and customer, and always upskill, because you also want to know the art of asking the right questions to really understand if they understand what you actually offer. So when you go to a doctor, he's got to ask you a lot of questions. I've got a headache, but by the time he's finished asking you the questions, there's a problem in your back. So we want to understand what the root issue is. So we want to know, what is your prospect's dissatisfaction right now? We ask the questions, and that's the difference in a sales process. Is the moment you ask the questions, you are in control of your sales process. And this is a whole nother workshop. The moment your prospect asks you the question, they are in control of the sales process. Think about that. You need to be in control of the sales process, so therefore you ask the questions. As soon as someone says how much, they're in control of that sales process. You don't answer. Do you mind, and write this down, anybody that approaches you and says, can you please give me a quote on boom? Just say, do you mind if I ask you a few more questions? No competitor is going to ask it. They're just going to give a quote. How do you know you're quoting correctly? How many of you have taken on a job when a client has approved it and then later find there's a lot of stuff that we didn't take into consideration? We want to ask questions to really understand what it is that you have a pain point around, because that's what it is the pain point. They need something to make it better. They want to improve something. For us as coaches, you either have a challenge or frustration you need to overcome and you don't know how and what to do, or you have a goal or goals that you need to achieve and you just don't know how or what to use. That's what our roles are as coaches. So for you, what are the challenges or frustrations that you take care of with your product or service offering? Or what is it that they want that you can help improve and get them to that next level? And that's where the vision comes in. Where are you now and where do you want to be? And that's the sales process, asking questions. We think this is what we need. I was on a call with a prospect yesterday. I need marketing, da-da-da-da-da-da. That's all I need. We haven't done that exercise, that 5 ways I've just shared with you. And I said, yes, you do need marketing, absolutely. But do you know there's 4 other steps we've got to look at before you even decide that you need marketing? Oh, really? Yes. So what is it specifically you're looking for? Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? And that's the education I talked about, educating your prospect, educating your client. Educate them and let them know they don't know as much as they think they know about your product or service offering, because we've never asked them the right questions. Once we know what that gap is, then we go in with the first steps of, right, let's get together and let's put a proposal together. We just tend to go straight to actions. We don't want to act first. We want to do our homework first and then give the real story. The worst is giving a quote on 100 grand or 50 grand, and then they talk you down to 50 grand to 35 grand. You shouldn't have quoted that in the first place. And if you knew you were going to be talked down in your price. This resistance means the more questions you ask and satisfy the needs of your prospect, from their dissatisfaction to what they're looking for, what is the challenge or frustration they're trying to overcome, or what are the goals they're trying to achieve, and how can your business, service, product offering take them across that? Now they're more open to that conversation, so there's less resistance, higher conversion rate, the more you spend time here asking questions. The relationship building, the nobody cares how much you know, first steps. Before they know, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Do you mind if I ask you a few more questions? Okay, here's the formula for change. And this here is the change curve. So you can do some Googling on this if you want. But at the moment, what happens is if you don't ask the questions here, they'll be in denial. They know everything. We don't know if there's a shock. Like when you're talking to a prospect, we don't know if they've just been looted. And here we are trying to push our product and service because we're so desperate to get business. And meanwhile, they've just suffered a loss from COVID, or they are just had their shop cleaned out, like one of our people here have just had their machinery taken out. There's no way you're going to sell anything to them. That's why nobody cares how much you know until they know what you care. Ask the questions, where are they at? Because you want to push them through that change curve till they're at the exploratory phase and acceptance phase. They have to be in this place before you can have a really meaningful conversation. Do you mind if I ask you a few more questions? Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And once you're able to do that, your conversion rate will go up because they're now encouraged. There's less resistance. And that is me. I hope I helped you as much as possible. So it's now open. I'll hand it back to Lasala. If there are any questions that you would like to ask?
Thank you very much, Marlene. We really
Pleasure.
appreciate all the effort and the content that you're sharing with us. I see the chat box is quite busy today. Welcome, guys. So just remember, please send through all your questions under the Q&A section while we go through the questions today with Marlene. But Marlene, just before I get into the questions with the guys, there's a question I have here. Some of the guys that we have in the ICT program come from an ICT background, they're ICT entrepreneurs, and most of their clients are people who are not very equipped with ICT or don't know much about ICT. So how do you then approach a customer that, you know, that don't want complex solutions or disruptions, hypotheticals, overexposure? How do you, you know, incorporate your sales process to cater for such a person? I know with ActionCOACH in the sales process, we sort of add value before and then we make the sale. Could this maybe help the ICT entrepreneurs?
You know, I always say use layman's terms, speak the language of your prospect. That's why I always say nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Everybody, like ICT, we just assume everybody knows what ICT stands for. You know what it means. We know what 5 ways means. We know what 4 ways means. We know what 6 steps means. But the person on the other side doesn't know what we're talking about. So it's speaking layman's terms. And that's why I said it's asking the questions. What do you understand about? So that's part of the sales process. So it's absolute layman's terms and keep it simple. Everything must be simple, basic conversation. We're not saying that people are stupid about things. Coaching as well is when we take on any client, we go back to basics. Always start with the basics, simplistic conversation with people, then gauge on the knowledge that they have around your industry. That's why it's very important to ask the questions, because as you're asking questions, you're getting to understand how much they know or don't know about what you offer. So I hope that has answered the question there. And that's why we don't close a lot of the sales, because they just don't understand what we've just been talking about. As soon as they understand, you speak the language, their language of understanding, then you pitch it. Like with us, we pitch it. I mean, the lady I spoke to yesterday had been in business for over 30 years. I don't have the same conversation with her as I would have with someone who's a startup. 2 different types of questioning process. That's what sales is about, yes. Thanks, Asala.
Thank you very much, Marlene. The second question here comes from Samkelo Zondi. He says he often gets clients that usually come in not knowing what they actually want. So how is it a good strategy to then charge for a pre-quote consultations?
Okay, they don't even know you from a bar of soap. So you've got to build up a relationship. So what you'll see we do complimentary workshops and webinars. Also, we will do a complimentary coaching session so they get an experience of what we do. So I wouldn't suggest you charge right up front, but also you've got to know where to draw that line, because some people will take full advantage of your free time that you give. So you just need to be very cognizant of the fact of how much time you're willing to give, because that's part of your marketing strategy. So part of the marketing strategy is get to know, like, and trust me. Get to see what I do. Have you got the right understanding of what we offer? Here's an experience that we can give you. So depending on the type of business and what you're offering, you can give them a taster. Remember as well, there's a very big difference, but if you're approaching somebody or they come to you, if you have anybody come to you, they have an intent to buy from you. So you've got a much better chance of closing that deal. And they're probably already knowledgeable on what you offer. Yeah.
Wow, that's really powerful. And another one here, it's from Yanga. How do you then deal, especially now with coming to the questions? I think this comes back to the questions that we are asking, and also determining the type of questions that you ask. If then your client or your prospect seems to feel like they know more than you, how do you handle that situation, and how do you then convert? Because I know with ActionCOACH, there's also a saying that 20% of the sales decisions are made based on logic and 80% are made based on emotion. How do you then get this person from logically thinking that they're better than you to getting them to that 80% where they're based on emotion? I know, does it have to do with the change curve, or?
It definitely, that's why it's asking the questions. You need to ask a question, they answer. ask a question based on their answer. So at least 4 or 5 times you're asking, it's the same as asking why 5 times. Then eventually they don't know why. So it's through grilling and asking the right, not grilling really, but just asking the questions to grill down to the real root cause of what they're looking for. We don't want people for us, and it's also how you approach it. You don't want anyone to feel like you're better than them and you're knocking them at all. You've got to be very mindful of that. So strategically, you've got to say, what are the questions I ask? Because what am I trying to find out? Same with us through our sales process. From the first point of contact, why did you register to attend our webinar? What was the trigger point? Because we want to know if our marketing's working and what is their pain point. Then when they have attended, what was the value they got out of it? So now it's the pain and then the pleasure, the dissatisfaction and the vision. Then through that is grilled down. Oh, yeah, now I have got a money problem. All right, by the time we've grilled down, realize we're not investing the right amount of time in sales and marketing. That's why you got a money problem. Money problem is a side effect. And we find that a lot of the selling we try and do and telling is the side effect. So I always say, find the pain. So yes, logic and emotion. They always say the more they cry, the more they buy. So the more they cry, the more they buy. We are salespeople. We are problem solvers. Remember that we are problem solvers. What problem are we trying to solve? A challenge, a frustration, or achieving a goal. Those are the 3 things. When you understand that, it's the same as like getting cell phone. How do we change from a diehard fan of Samsung to an Apple? There's diehards. Then you bring in a new product. How do you make the sale? Find the pain. Do you want it simple? Do you want it complicated? What use do you make of it? Ask the right questions depending on what product or service you're wanting. That's why I said narrow it down to 1 or 2 product or 1 product or service and get to know it properly and find the pain. We're problem solvers.
Wow, that is really powerful, Marlene. Thank you.
Cool,
another question here from, is it Galaxy A20? They don't have their name up. Is now, what happens if maybe you've had a client before, you've lost them maybe due to bad service, or maybe they've lost trust in you? How do you regain that trust? Because sometimes those are the clients. This client comes back to you, they were dissatisfied the last time. How do you then, convert the sale this time?
Yeah, they're probably over it. We aren't. So we've taken it badly. We think that they've kept us top of mind. They've probably forgotten about that incident. I've had a number of clients who won't go back to some old past clients. So there where we had clients in the past and they've left and we're too scared to bring them back for whatever reason, is ask questions, make the phone call. That's why last year was a perfect opportunity to phone all your past clients. Even now, phone every one of your past clients or customers and just see that they're okay, that they're fine. That's all you want to do. They have forgotten probably why they left you in the first place. And remember is that if you might have dropped the ball, we are all human, but when the relationship is there, they will continue to support you. We've had a number of clients who've gone back to old clients, actually forgetting what happened, and said, why don't you give us a try? Because they're not 100% satisfied with where they are. Just remember as well as 3%, on average, 3% of people are ready to buy right now. There's 17% that are dissatisfied with their current service providers. But we need to shift their thinking and changing and adding salt to the wound, finding the pain. The others aren't different. They just complacent, they just stick with what they know because they're a creature of habits, and it's hard to shift them across. That's why I said to get that change happening is find the pain, find that area. So that same client that you lost, you would have had a relationship. But believe me, I think we ourselves feel it more and worry about it so much more when in fact they're forgiving because they're not getting the service that they so richly deserve. So don't be scared. They know you, and people do care. And they've matured over the years and realized that you actually gave better service than the people they went to, but now they're too embarrassed to come back. Just go and help them out, make a decision, come back to you.
Wow.
And they'd love you to share the story and say you've learned your lesson from that. And thank you so much, because if you didn't leave, I would never have improved. So now let's do this together.
Powerful. Thank you very much, Marlene. Another question here is, what would you recommend a purpose statement? I know sometimes when you're having a call, be it a face-to-face meeting, or maybe you're on a call with someone, a prospect, stating the purpose of the meeting, like asking for permission, the process, solutions, agreement, those type of things. Would you recommend stating a purpose statement? And what can maybe somebody include in there just to sort of pre-position the prospect before you make the sale, or before the meeting starts?
Remember, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. It's not about me, myself, I. It's about the prospect in front of you. We are asking them the question. If we put our purpose, we think it's great. World abundance through business re-education, thriving businesses, helping the economies, transforming lives, all of that type is great. But at the end of the day, do they care? So it's not about you. Same as when I work with any of my clients and they want to go and do a proposal, don't go with anything. You sit there and ask questions and get information, and then do a proposal based on the outcomes of their conversation. So then we talk directly to what their needs are and their wants are. The purpose statement is the byproduct. As far as I'm concerned, at the end of it is, here's a proposal, and this is our purpose and our why statement. This is our vision. This is our mission. This will secure and back up what you wanted us to do. By the way, we just happen to do this. That is our final tick of approval to say, God, you guys are good. And I cannot believe you've got such an amazing purpose and why statement. Your vision, I support that, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Marlene. Another question here that we have is it wise? I know some clients now, when it comes to closing the deal, you've went through the sales process, you've asked the questions, now it's time to bring the solution to the table. Is it wise then to offer one solution? Or would you say it's as a client, or maybe is it wiser to put 1 or 2 or 3 solutions on the table to secure the sale? That way, getting the conversation from a yes to no, I want this one or not, to maybe either or. What is your recommendation on that one?
Yeah, you see, if you go through the whole sales process, by the time you finalizing the deal, you should already know what the right product or service is for that client. They also should know. So if you give people options, like putting a child in a sweet shop and saying, choose one sweet. So you're giving them an option of 3. Now they've got to think about, oh, you're giving me 3 options now. Oh, I wonder which one I should take. This one's cheaper. This one's I need to go and think about it. And then they get cold. You go with one solution. And remember I said, go for the most profitable, that product or service, most amount of profit, least amount of effort, shortest space of time. Because once they're in with the one solution, you can cross-sell and upsell them to your other offerings. You want to sort out one need, clear one problem. With us, with businesses, it's time, team, and money. I go in having a conversation out of the 3, which is the highest pain point for you? Money, right? I know I can help them with their team. I know I can help them with the time. But I'm going to deal with the need of money. And when they say, please help, they said, right, where can I go? As a doctor, we will prescribe medication. That medication has used this product or service or program, and then we will deal with the other areas as we go on. And now that will give you your retention strategy. Remember, we want to secure the client by fixing one need or sorting out one need that they have, and then build the relationship over time. We're the doctor, they're the patient, we're going to give them medication.
Perfect. Your
service product.
Makes complete sense. One more question here that we have. I see we still have 8 minutes for questions. One, does the conversion rate, how does it affect the niche of the business? Is it related? What's the relationship?
All right. Okay. Again, if it's based on price, then you're always going to be, you live by price, you die by price. Okay, because then you don't have a loyal customer. So the conversion rate starts right from that first contact. Your conversion rate can be very high at the beginning, and you could lose it along the way, or you could build it up along the way. So the So I just lost my train of thought. So I'll just start again with that question again. I'll answer it now.
That's conversion rate, its relationship with the niche of the business.
Oh, yes. That again, it's depending on, yes, it is. It depends on your product, your industry that you're in. But still, you can have an 80% conversion rate in any industry. I've worked with many different industries. You just have to be very clear on what your product offering is, because if you target market specific that target client, you will have a high conversion rate no matter what. If you're going to base everything around price, you will never have a high conversion rate, because they'll be with you 1 minute and then they'll go and get it and say, look, I was quoted this, and you give them the whole thing. Then they go next door and they can get it for 10% cheaper, and they come back to you and say, right, I got it 10% cheaper. Let them go. You don't want clients that are there based on price. I understand if you've got a store, retail store, whatever the case is, it will be. But there again, how do you market to the most amount of profit, least amount of effort, shortest space of time? So your conversion rates, as well as when we work with you, that 5 ways I showed you earlier, we want to look at every single step of the way, where your conversion rates are strong and where your conversion rates are weak, and then start understanding. But I guarantee you, it doesn't matter which industry you're in, if you're clear of what their product or service is and you're clear of your ideal target market, there's no reason why you can't have a high conversion rate. You might not make as much money in your industry, like hardware type stuff or manufacturing, but you will still have a high conversion rate. That's what the root cause is that, yeah.
Wow, thank you, Marlene. The other one, I think these 2 questions are some of the questions that always come up to say, overselling. How do you then deal with competitors that oversell and sort of underdeliver? How should you then, as an entrepreneur in your sales process, sort of oversell? If not, are there dangers to overselling?
I always say less is more. Be the quiet ones. Let them oversell. They're not going to keep them for long. Remember, we want to educate. We want to train. We want to transform. We want to transition our clients and educate them. So I always talk about the go slow to go fast. I'd rather have a slow onboarding process to make sure I've educated my client to come on board, and then I'll be able to retain my clients and educate my client through while I'm working with them. So I wouldn't worry about your competitors anyway. There's a lot of people out there that are cutthroat and they're desperate, especially now for business, and they will take and overpromise and underdeliver, absolutely. But we don't want to play that game. We don't want to play in that pond. We want to show our consistency, and that's another thing, part of marketing. Be consistent, be credible. Use your knowledge, expertise, wisdom, educate clients on that or prospects on that. And they will see a difference, because remember, they're not only talking to you, they're talking to a whole lot of other people in your industry, your competitors. And you're the one who's handling it very differently. You're the one who's asking questions. They're not asking questions unless they're with ActionCOACH. So all of you that are with ActionCOACH, you're learning how to ask the right questions. You're learning how to understand who you're talking to, what questions to ask. You're understanding the sales process and the conversion rate. They're going to notice that I've got a number of prospects that come to me that are approached by other coaches, and they've never experienced what they've experienced with me. And that's what makes them decide to go with me, because it's an experience. Remember, sales, and that's why I said don't master telling, it's selling. It's an experience they buy, and people buy confidence. The more confident you are, the more they want to do business with you. If you're not confident, they won't be confident. And don't worry about your competitors. They must worry about you.
Thank you very much, Marlene. There's another question here that we have from our YouTube audience. It's the question from Pel Silwani. It says, what's your view on sales technology and tools enabling in sales? In which one would you invest budget or time on? Which one in a year between tools and technology in enabling sales?
My word, again, it depends on your knowledge and expertise. It depends if you want to do it yourself. It depends if you want to outsource it to experts. I always say, if you're not making much money, you don't have to spend money to market and do the sales process. We are traditional. We use traditional, and we use social media or anything. I mean, we use different platforms, multiple platforms for our sales and marketing process. So we use the telephone as well as we also use social media. It just really depends on the target market and where they are based. If you're dealing with with the one company I worked with quite some time ago, their client base was old money. And old money was in the yellow pages. And their highest conversion rates of sales came from the retired target market who still use the old yellow pages book. So that's why if you want to deal with your millennials, you're going to market and do sales process in a millennial fashion. If you're dealing with me, Bali, in my 50s, I would probably react more to, now that I'm more social media savvy in that, but I still have Lauren, for example, who helps me on a lot of the newer applications of sales process. And I'll still stick to traditional. So you need to say, who's your target market and where are they? And what will they respond to? I think that's going to be the important thing. How much money you put in, as long as you can get a return on investment. That's why I say whoever you choose and wherever you want to put your money and back your money on, please make sure that you are able to get a return on that investment. So how do you measure that? We've got a client that was getting a huge amount of traffic to their website and quoting until forever, but they weren't having a high conversion rate because it was the wrong people being attracted to that. So they're spending a fortune attracting the wrong people to their website. As soon as we made a change, all of a sudden they got a better caliber of person or quality of person coming through. Why? Because they narrowed down their product and service offering. So again, you don't have to spend, we don't spend much money at all on our marketing. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Just make sure whatever money you invest in, not spend, has a return on investment. And we actually put the marketing fee or marketing cost in the income line, sales and marketing. Why? Because we want to make sure our sales grow more exponentially than what we're putting in the marketing, to be able to see that. We will never put it down in the expense line because we want to be able to identify that we're getting that return on investment. So I hope that answered the question, though. But again, you've got to ask the questions. And if I was talking to this person, it's say, right, do you mind if I ask you a few more questions and grill down? Because if I spoke to 3 different people, we would have 3 very different answers. There's no right and wrong. It's just what makes the right sense for your business at that time on your product and service offering and target market.
Fantastic. I think the last one that we have time for today, Marlene, and then we'll let you go, is this one also from YouTube. What do you think? Should a sales strategy evolve when the business grows or when it evolves, or does it stay the same?
Oh, no, it does evolve. No, definitely. Because remember, we grow and learn as we evolve as well. Because we get to know, like for me, I used to do very traditional type marketing, and then we had to do coaching virtually through lockdown. So like I say, we have definitely evolved. We've got a PR person now. So it just depends how you mature over time. If you want to do the same year 10 times, you're never going to grow your business. You've got to move with the times and trend. Remember, us now over this last year and a half with the pandemic has shifted businesses 4-5 years ahead of where they would have been if we didn't have the pandemic. So we've been forced to change. And that's sadly what happens, is that we have these external catalysts that force us to do things we should have been doing anyway, but we need to be pushed out of our comfort zone. So yes, evolve. As long as you evolve, the business will evolve, your clients will evolve. So you can never stay stagnant. If a tree just stays stagnant with something, eventually it's going to die. So you've got to keep moving and evolving and making sure that whatever time and money you're investing is growing and you're getting a return on that investment on money and time.
Thank you very much for that, Marlene. Well, guys, that's all we have time for today. Marlene, thank you so much for spending time with us today. You've really shared a lot with us today, and I hope you guys got a mountain of value. As I promised, as I said, you were in for a treat, and I think Marlene has more than catered for all the questions that you guys had. If there are questions that you still have maybe that we didn't get to, please send them through to us via email, or for those of you in our ICT program, send them through with your weekly focus sheet this Friday when you do send us your home fund, so that we can see if we can get Marlene to answer those questions, or maybe we can bring in our coach, Dr. Peter, to also look at them as well. Marlene, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you being here with us, and we appreciate the value that you bring to Action Coach, and we're also being one of the coaches that have welcomed Coach TP when he bought the Action Coach franchise. Thank you so much. We know he's been in great hands, and also that knowledge is passed down to us as well, and we value you. And also to Lauren, thank you very much. Lauren is Marlene's BDM. Thank you very much for also making it with us today. Thank you for the time. Guys, so without further ado, I know you guys are waiting to hear, based on participation, who's getting the 500 Rand MTN data, who's getting the 1,000 Rand cash prize, and also who's getting the book. So according to the team, based on the results today, the person who's going to be walking away with the book vouchers, just to remind you, today we're giving out the book by Zig Ziglar, Selling 101. And the winner of Selling 101 is Wendile Chilwani. Congratulations, Wendile. You are getting the book. So please send through your details, your address. I'll send it to Bonolo. You can just send it to us on our email address so that Bonolo can send it through to you and you can enjoy your book. So congratulations to you on winning this Selling 101 book by Zig Ziglar. The second prize that we have, which is based on participation on the YouTube platform, we're giving out 500 Rand MTN data voucher. But remember, guys, for these prizes, in order for you to win, you need to first go and like our social media, follow our social media pages, and like some of the content that we have there. Engage with us. That is the only requirement that we have for you to gain this prize. So Wandile, make sure that you followed our YouTube page, you followed our Instagram page, same on Twitter and YouTube, so that we can have no problem sending the prize through to you. So for the data giveaway, which is based on the participation from our YouTube audience, this one goes to Pel Silawani. Congratulations, Pel. You are getting 500 Rand MTN data voucher. Spend it wisely. Same to you. Please send through your details in the chat box and send it through to us on email so that our admin office or our communications department can take note of it so that we can make sure that you do receive your 500 Rand MTN data. Congratulations, Pearl. We know you're connected with us through YouTube. And then the grand prize, the one that you've always been waiting for, the winner of the 1,000 Rand cash prize. This one goes to Estelle Oliphant. Congratulations, Estelle. You are walking away with 1,000 Rand. Congratulations to all our winners. And Estelle, please make sure that we get your details in the comment section, or also send it through to Bonolo or in a WhatsApp or email so that we can make sure that you get your cash prize. So congratulations to all the winners today. We hope you enjoy your prize. And also, guys, thank you so much for joining us on these webinars. As you know, this is one of our 8 topic series that we have on a monthly basis. Every second week, we are here with the best experts we have there to deal with a topic, each topic in the business or in the 6 steps to building a successful business. So next month, same time, we'll be here with more experts for you, and also that will be sharing the knowledge with you. So please, if you have any other questions for us, please feel free to reach out to us via email. If you're interested maybe to get yourself an Action Coach, you've seen the quality that we have in the Action Coach franchise. You've seen Marlene, you've seen Coach Tabopiti, you've seen Harry Welby Cook as well, and you've also seen Charmaine. So please connect with us if you're interested. For those of you who are in our ICT program, congratulations. And also we're looking forward to seeing those weekly focus sheets. Please send them through to us, and then let's connect again the same time next month. Congratulations, everyone. Have a fantastic day, and we will see you in the next session.